Welcome guys to Bootcamp Blueprint. I'm super excited because we have a special guest on this week. Let me introduce you to our special guest today, Sean McCrory.
You got it.
I was practicing saying his last name, but he's the creator of the best-selling course Sub30. Sean, how are you doing?
I'm good. Claudia, how are you doing?
I'm really well myself. Hey, before we get started, we like to start our podcast by asking our guest a question. So we'll put you on the spot here. What's your favorite mantra or quote?
Favorite mantra or quote? Oh, that's a very good question. I'm very big on mantras. I use a lot of mantras within my business, and especially even some of the blogs I write. I write monthly blogs, and I've been told by my proofreader I have to really cut back on the mantras because I use them way too much. My favorite in regards to my business would be, I guess, just take every opportunity when it comes your way. That's the one thing I've learned over the years, because opportunities will come. They come to everyone, and it's just making sure that you make the most of those opportunities when they do arrive. And that's something I think I've done very well over the years, that I've never been one to back away. You know, if I see an opportunity, I tend to grab it. And I think that's been a big part of what we built here at Sub30 as well. The opportunity was just right for it, and I took it. So yeah, when opportunities come your way, which they will in business, not just in life, but they will in business. And I guess the secret is to recognize when they come and just to jump on them. And I guess a lot of it's been in the right time at the right place as well. But yeah, opportunities, take them when they come.
Awesome. So what I'd like to do today is just talk about your journey. So you're the creator of the Sub30 Core program. A few of the listeners probably have purchased this program, probably use it with their clients. But I'd like to dive a bit into your story, how you created it, maybe even your own journey as a fitness business owner. Is that cool with you?
Yeah, 100%. I came into the fitness industry quite late in life. I was 38 years old when I became a fully qualified trainer, and been doing it 10 years now. And before that, I was in corporate finance. I was in the corporate sector and had one of those jobs that was just, yeah, it was a fantastic job, a lot of stress, a lot of pressure, really rewarding in some of the aspects. And I'd done that for 10 years. And I've told this story to a few people, but it was one of those ones where I was always involved in sport, always involved in fitness. It was always something I wanted to do. But I guess when you've got one of those jobs that is really well paid, and you've got a mortgage and you've got kids, it's very hard just to come out of it. So, and it took one of those moments that I guess for a lot of people happens in your life when you have someone close to you pass away, which I did with my mom. And I had to fly back to Ireland. And I remember coming back on the airplane on the way back from Ireland thinking, you know what, sod it, just do it. Just do it. It's something you want to do. You know, this whole experience has taught you that life's just too short, and just to grab every opportunity. And I thought that was it. So spent a year getting myself qualified and educated. And then I just took the plunge. I took long service from my jobs. I had 3 months off, and I thought, you know what, 3 months, let's go hard with this. Let's see what I can get, how far I can get in 3 months. And I was lucky that when those first 3 months, I realized, number one, this is what I wanted to do. And number two, I also realized it's got potential. I could make a good living out. Well, I could make a living out of this, and that was it. So I started a bootcamp business called Rebel Fitness, which I've still got today, and we just celebrated our 10th birthday back there in July. So 10 years, which I think of all the things I've achieved within the fitness industry, that's probably the thing I'm most proud of, because bootcamp businesses aren't easy. For a lot of your listeners will know, they're pretty tough. It's a tough slog, and it's very hard to get established, and it's very hard to continue. So to be doing it 10 years is something that I'm proud of. And within that 10 years, I've written 2 books, 2 ebooks that we released, and they've done quite well. I also designed a few programs that we also released out there. Quite a few of your listeners probably would have done the Introduction to Fitness and the Bootcamp for Beginners as well. But 6 years ago, I thought the one thing that was missing from my outdoor fitness business was a fat loss program. Yeah. So I got a relationship going with a local nutritionist, and I designed what we call the Body Revolution online program. It's a 6-week fat loss program where my nutritionist designs all the meal plans. She gives the support, and I do the exercise. And we've done it 6 years, and we went online about 2 years ago, and it's now being used by people all over the world, which is really good. We've got one starting this weekend, and we've got people in France doing it, people in Germany and Malaysia and stuff like that. So that was just another aspect of the business that I designed. But probably the most exciting thing that I've done and the hardest thing that I've done is Sub30 Core, without a shadow of a doubt. I've always been a really big core focused trainer since day one. And it goes back to my footballing days. Again, another story I always tell is the fact that I had a football coach who used to always say that the stronger you can get your core, the less chance you have of getting injured. And within all our training, pre-season training during the week, he would do a lot of core work. And that always stuck with me. So as soon as I became a fitness trainer, it was always core was the first priority. It wasn't cardio, it wasn't strength, it was get your core strong. And probably 3-4 years ago, I decided, here we go. I'm gonna design these programs, these core-based programs. It all came about from a doctor who trained with me, and she said she had lots of back problems. She was a GP, always slouched over, sitting in her chair all day, terrible posture. And she said to me, she said, listen, because we do so much core work here at Rebel Fitness, she says, my back issues, she says, they haven't gone away. I've still got them, but they're so much better. And she says, I'm putting it down to all the core work we do. And that was like a light bulb moment for me. And I remember going home that night thinking, I'm going to design these workouts for a standalone session on my timetable, because that's how important core is. When I went looking for stuff to buy or for ideas or for something on the internet, there was nothing, absolutely nothing. And I thought, sorry, I'm going to design my own. I'm going to do my own. Downloaded an app called Seconds. I'm sure a lot of you, it's an individual app. I'm sure a lot of your trainers have heard of it.
We use that before, Seconds.
Seconds is really good. So I used that because you had the voice activation, not the voice activation, the text to voice scenario in it, and designed these programs all based on core, put them on my timetable, and to cut a long story short, automatic hit. It was a huge hit within my group. I was getting 40 plus people at these sessions. So I decided then, you know what, I'm going to have to get these designed more professionally. Search for a voiceover guy. That was probably the hardest thing as part of Sub30. Finding a voiceover person who had that right voice to make the workout sound really exciting. And I also wanted an Australian voice as well, because it was an Australian program. Yeah. Hired a voiceover guy, purchased the music. I then hired an audio technician to put it all together for me. And do you know the strangest thing? The very first workout that came back was Jungle. So those who do Sub30 Core will know Jungle. It's a very good workout. That was the very first one they gave back to me. And I swear to God, it was, when I heard it for the first time, sounding professionally, it was like watching one of your kids being born. It was really, really emotional. It was, I remember sitting there thinking, wow, this is what I had wanted in my head. And this is what I'd worked for. And this is what I spent a lot of time, a lot of money investing in. And it's come back sounding as good as this. And so that's really how the programs all came about. In regards to the course, it wasn't something I'd planned to do. It really wasn't. I was just focused on delivering these workouts into the market to fitness trainers, and that was it, see how they go. But I developed a relationship with two people who you might know, one called Jono, one called Travis. I'm not sure if you've heard of them, but they're not very big, but I've helped them be a bit bigger in the industry over the last few months. So I have, they owe me big time. And I got talked into doing a fitness course by those two. I had some relationships with people in Fitness Australia as well. And I thought, all right, I'm not a writer. Even though I've written 2 books, one was an ebook, one was on boxing, and one was on bodyweight workouts, but they were more workout design books. I'm not a writer. I'm really not a writer. For a lot of your trainers listening to this, if you think you cannot write a book, I know a lot of people say that old mantra, if I can do it, anyone can do it. But hand in my heart, God's honest truth, if I can do this, truly, and a 6-year-old could do it, for God's sake. That's how much it was not my thing. So if you're thinking, trainers out there, that you've got this idea, just go ahead and do it, because I can do it, anyone can do it. So
I want to dive a bit into that as well. Like, a lot of times people have this idea, but they never, they never see it through, because like a big one is they don't want to fail. Another big one is like, what if it doesn't work? Like, and they create these stories in their head before they actually like do anything about it, and they're like, oh, it's not gonna work. So what's some advice you would give to trainers if they've got an idea, they've been doing something really successful in their boot camp, and they think like, oh, maybe I can do something and like bring it to the market? What would your like suggestion be besides just do it?
I've got a few suggestions. I've got, I'm a big believer. I think every single trainer out there has got an idea. I think every single trainer out there at one stage or other have said, you know what, I'm pretty good at this. This is an aspect of the fitness business that I rock at, that I'm just an absolute, that I smash. And I think everyone's got an idea there, and everyone's had that thought, I should probably release this to the market. But as you say, the vast majority don't. For what reason? It could be time, it could be confidence, it could be money, it could be anything, who knows? But my advice is, again, just absolutely do it and get help. Get help. It's probably the first piece of advice I'd give someone is don't try and do it by yourself, because I think that's probably where a lot of people fall down. A lot of trainers fall down thinking, where do I start? Well, you know, I've got this idea, but where do I go to next? And I think that's what stops a lot of trainers from actually doing it. And the thing that really helped me was getting people around me in that industry who knew what they were doing. Jono and Travis were tremendous help. I've had other people who have been great. Dan Henderson, just a few others who have really helped me. And they said, listen, all right, there's your idea. This is where I advise you to go to next. Go and speak to this person. Go and speak to that person. Do this, do that. And I couldn't have done it. Had it just been me all by myself, I think it would have been a case of, oh, even though it was me by myself, it was all my idea, but I needed that external help. I really did. And second piece of advice I would give people who've got those ideas is, what have you got to lose? What do you have to lose? You know, I'm lucky now. Sub30 Core, we've now got over 2,000 subscribers worldwide. It's now been used in 14 different countries. It's, you know, from a monetary point of view, it's been very successful for me. We've sold hundreds upon hundreds of courses from it. And again, this is from someone who's just a normal everyday fitness trainer with a bootcamp business. That's really all I was. But I had a passion, I had a goal, and I had I seen there was a gap in the market as well, and I think that's what really helped me. But yeah, what have you got to lose? Really, just go and do it. Just try. And you know what? If you fail, you fail. At least you tried. You know, as people always say, like, you don't want to be one of these old people sitting back in 20 years' time thinking, what if? What if? Because you just don't know the potential. You really don't. And I'm having people now who, you know, in the first few weeks of me launching Sub30, the first few months even, I was going knocking on doors. I knocked a lot of doors. I introduced myself to so many people, which is another piece of advice I would give. And I'm getting to a stage now where people are contacting me for likes of podcasts, for likes of interviews, for advice and stuff like that. So it happens so fast. It really has. But don't be one of these people that in 20 years' time think, oh, I wish I had done this. Or you know what? Even worse, if you've waited on something when it's too late and someone else does it.
Oh, that is the worst.
How many times have you said, like, in the last couple of years, I had that idea 5 years ago. What was I thinking? Look at this person now. And I guarantee that person 5 years ago had the balls, I'm allowed to say that, just to get out there and just do it. So don't wait until someone else comes and pinches your idea and steals your gap in the market, because it would be the worst feeling in the whole world, I reckon.
Yeah, love that. So just going out there and doing it pretty much. And it's helped so many trainers. I've like, when I sell to trainers this course and they've told me they've purchased it, they're like, wow, this has been really good. This has been really helpful to my boot camp. So yeah, it's an amazing product. I guess for you, like, what are your plans for, we kind of know you in like different countries now in terms of Sub30. What are your like plans for Sub30, or what are your like goals next?
My goals it's twofold. A lot of what I'm focused on now is education. I have a saying that the core is about the least understood and the most neglected area for most fitness professionals and enthusiasts, without a shadow of a doubt. Pardon me. And my goal is to reverse that. My goal is to make it the most understood. The most understood and the least neglected. That's what I want. I want to make sure that people understand the importance of these muscles right around here and in the glutes, in the hip flexors, and how important they are to not only to fitness people, but for everyday life as well, because it just doesn't get the attention it deserves. So for me, it's a lot about education. I spent the last 2 weeks developing relationships with people who are really big in the industry, who are now going to help me go forward with Sub30 in regards to education. And I'm really excited. Over the next couple of weeks, we've got some big hitters coming in to help educate more. And people, sorry, not people, but on topics such as ab separation, on pelvic floor, on the back, on parts of the core that are so important. And I must admit, it's sort of areas that I lack a little bit of knowledge of, as much as I know lots about the core, but there's certain areas that I'm not an expert in. And I'm a big believer in getting people who are the experts in that area in to help. So a lot of going forward for Sub30 is going to be about education. It's going to be continuing to get the Sub30 brand out, the core brand, the core workouts, and the course. You know, as you said just a few minutes ago, Claudia, the course has been so well received in regards to knowledge and understanding of the core. And we even looked at, whenever I done a workout with your team yesterday, it wasn't a workout, it was just introducing some exercises. And we had nearly 200 comments and a lot of people wanting involved, but there was probably a dozen of those comments from people who have done the course and who have done the workouts, just basically saying, listen, this is a good course and these workouts are fantastic. It's helped me so much. And that's great to see. And I want to see more of that. So 14 countries, I would love to get it in 20 countries by the end of this year. We're continuing to give the course to fitness education governing bodies to get them approved for CSC and rep points. Yeah. I think we're up to 6 now. We're waiting on New Zealand. We're waiting on America to get back to us.
And what are some lessons you've learned, like developing this program along the way in your like 10-year fitness career journey?
Well, do you know what? Designing this program, I had this conversation with Jen Dugard the other day, and I said to Jen, being a fitness trainer, I find so much easier than being on the other side of this industry. When you're dealing with fitness trainers, I found it, I could, within my Rebel Fitness business, I could go out and I could probably get 10, 12 clients in the next few weeks. I don't sound big-headed, but reasonably easy. If I do some advertising, if I knock on a few more doors, I could get people into my fitness business. I find that easy because I'm comfortable with it. When I designed this program, I put myself in a position where it was all new to me. I was pretty green to this industry, this side of the business. And I found myself in a lot of uncomfortable positions. I was out of my comfort zone and I had to adapt pretty quickly. And that's probably the biggest lesson I've learned, that it's a harder sell on this side of the business than it is on when you're dealing with clients. But it can be frustrating. So you have to have a lot of patience. I also learned it doesn't happen overnight. Even though we released in February and it sounds like Sub30 has been like an overnight success, Sub30 was my idea and Sub30 was something I implemented a few years ago. And there was a lot of work in the lead up to when we launched in February. So from February through to what are we now in October? Yes, we've sold hundreds and hundreds of courses. Yes, we're in all these different countries, but it's taken time for me to get there. It really has. So you have to have a lot of patience. And the second thing I have learned, and it's something I touched on a few minutes ago, is you need help. You need help. You know, for a lot of us, we're fitness trainers who are technically a one-man band, and we don't have too much in the way of help and support. And that's where communities like yours is so important. It is so important because sometimes you just need that outlet to go in and ask questions or to vent or to get advice and stuff like that. So they do vent. So that's probably the other lesson I've learned is it's very hard to do this alone. You do need help. You do need support from other people in the industry.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big one as well for like small business owners, especially trainers. They want to do the marketing all themselves. They want to do the sales all themselves. They want to do the training, the programming. They want to do the admin, like their own accounting and everything like that. And your Sub30, when you release a lot of the marketing, would you say, like, you got help for that, right? Sales, you got help for that. It's always like, no, you don't have to do everything on your own. It's okay to like ask for help, like you mentioned, but it's also wise. Otherwise, if you did everything by yourself, would you say you would potentially burn out and not as gone as far as you could have?
I was going back in my early days within Rebel Fitness, I was someone, I'm a bit of a control freak by nature. And I was someone who...
Oh, I haven't noticed, Sean.
Yeah, I know. And I'm someone, and I wanted to do everything. Back in my Rebel Fitness days, in the early days, I done my own imaging and stuff like that. And at the time, I thought it was good, but it wasn't. It was actually pretty poor. It was really poor. And it was only when I got the help from a young lady called Ruth Ansley, who works for Wild Wave Media. And I got help from her, and she does all my Sub30 Core marketing. She designed my website. And I'll be honest with you, without her, I wouldn't be where I am now. God's honest truth. And that's well, number one, it's a great plug for her. But number two, what she's done for Sub30 and me, I sit back and I look at some of the stuff she does and think, I could never do that in a million years. So it's worth it. Sometimes it can seem like it's quite expensive, but it's a great return on your investment. A huge return, because the amount of people have said to me, wow, Sub30 looks very professional. Your website looks really, really cool and schmick and stuff like that. And that's all down to someone else. So branding's really, really important. And if you're not strong at it, get someone else to do it.
Go to what you're good at.
Exactly right. Exactly.
You're good at Sub30, you're good at delivering, writing the programs. Like, focus more on that. That's where your passion is. Whatever you don't like, outsource it, find someone else to do it, figure out a system where you can take yourself out of the equation, right? So that the things that you do want to do, you can do more of.
Yeah, no, you're 100%. You have to work to your strengths. You have to work out what your strengths are, and you have to work out what your weaknesses are. And the more you can focus on your strengths, and my strengths are designing workouts. It's always something I was quite good at. I was lucky enough to be born with a creative mind, so I was good at designing workouts. But I'm also very, very weak at social media. You just have to look at my Instagram. You have to look at my Facebook account.
Yeah, social media game is weak. No, I'm joking. I actually haven't looked at social media before, but most trainers, like, social media is an important part of, like, their business. So they don't need to be good at it, but they do need to do it, whether that's you or if that's someone else, right? It doesn't matter, like, if you don't. Do you like to do social media, Sean?
No.
Do you like social media?
I love social media.
That's okay, but you. Sorry?
I love it, but I'm terrible at it. I'm terrible. For me, it's a lot of just remembering. It's what content do I put on, and have I put this content on before? Are people going to get bored? Are people going to like it? And so, you know, I'm a social person. I find it easier to build relationships face to face, talking to people and getting to know people. And I have to learn that a lot of it's not done like that anymore. A lot of it's done by social media and what you post and stuff like that. So maybe it's because I'm an old fella, Claudia. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm just too old, but I do have to get better at it. And I do have to maybe even...
No. No one's ever too old for social media. No one's ever too old for social media. But knowing where, like, your strengths lies is really important in a business, right? And someone else is going to love social media, so you don't need to be on it. Someone else can be on it and do that promoting for you. Whether that's Sub30 or, like, say a trainer, it's their fitness business, someone else can do it for you. I would like to ask you a question, Sean, as we come close to the end of the podcast. You're obviously a mentor for PTs in terms of programming, in terms of workouts and everything that you created. Who have been your biggest mentors, and someone that you've paid money to learn from, and someone you haven't paid money but you follow?
Oh,
did you get that question?
You just broke up. You just broke up a little bit there. What was the first part of the question? Someone who
the first part was who have been your biggest mentors, someone you paid money to learn from, and someone you haven't paid but you follow.
Okay, someone who I haven't paid but I follow. Ooh, another question. You put me in the spot, Claudia. 2 questions to put me in the spot. Let me see. Someone who I haven't paid, and there's a fella in the industry called Bedros Killian, who's really, really big in America. He's absolutely huge.
Oh, I know him.
Is massive.
His book right here.
Well, I've never paid for any of his courses or any of his content, but I really enjoyed watching what he's done from afar. So I follow him on Facebook, and I've enjoyed his knowledge that he shares. I've enjoyed the practices that he and the businesses that he's built. I think it's very, very impressive what this man has done. Very, very impressive. So I was on a course recently where he done a presentation, and he's just one of these people that when he talks, everyone listens. No matter what or where you are, you just sit back and you just take in every single thing he says. And I think like that's a sign of someone who has really, really made it in the industry, when you sit back and you just listen to every single thing they say. In regards to who has mentored me, do you know what? I would have to say the very first person who taught me PT, there was a young fella, and he was so much younger than me. I think he's about 15 years younger than me, Steve. And Steve worked at the Fitness Academy, and he was the lecturer there. Very knowledgeable bloke. He's now gone on and he's doing his own thing. And every time I need advice or support, I just give that man a call, because he's in his 30s now. He's not a dad, he's not married, but he's designed all these businesses. He's big into his bodybuilding. We're basically in opposite sides of the fitness industry. He's really muscular built, and I'm a lean cardio core type person. So we're the opposites. But whenever I need any knowledge or support, this is the man I come to, because he's really, really good. Steve Cap. So, do you know what? Because of my control freakness that we've talked about, I've always believed that I can do this all by myself. And as I said, the last few months have taught me, nah, you can't, Sean. You're just a small fish in a very, very big pond, and you need to go looking for those bigger fish to help feed you and to help guide you and support you as well. And ask. I know I've said it 3-4 times. Ask for help. Find out. And just finally on that, if anybody ever needs any help and support from me or any advice, please just drop me a message. The one thing I do very well is I reply to everyone. I'm very good on getting back to people, no matter what. If you've got, and it doesn't have to be Sub30 related, or it could be anything in regards to your fitness business. If anyone wants any help, any support, any advice, or even any guidance, please just get in contact, because the fitness industry has been very, very good to me. It's been very good for me from so many aspects. And if I can pass anything on, or if I can help anyone else, I'm more than happy to do it.
Amazing. Love that. What's his name? Bedros has a really good book called Man Up. I really enjoyed it. I read it like a year ago. I think the book is called. Have you read it before?
No, I haven't. No. You recommend it?
You should read it. It's such a... Yeah, I highly recommend it. And while on the topic of books, I've got another question. A book that you've read that's changed your life and perspective.
Oh, yes. Actually, I might even have it here. Kenneth Blanchard is one. I think it's Who Moved the Cheese was a book I remember reading back in my corporate finance days. Kenneth Blanchard coined the phrase raving fans. And I have been the biggest component of the raving fans philosophy. And it's all based around the aspect of designing a product, designing a community, design something where your followers go out and just become raving fans for you. They go out there and they tell their friends, they tell their work colleagues about every single thing you do. And Kenneth Blanchard just summed it up just absolutely perfect. So just type in raving fans, Kenneth Blanchard, and go Google that, and you will learn so much about how to build a community of people who are just out there doing a lot of work for you. And it's one of the reasons why I think Sub30 Core has become so big so fast as well, is because so many trainers are now using it, and they're talking about it, and they're putting it on their social media, and other trainers hear about it, they're raving about it, and it is worth it. It's just advertising. Money cannot buy it. Really, it's free, and you get a lot of trainers and a lot of other supporters out there doing your work for you. So yes, I'm pretty sure it's called Who Moved the Cheese.
Yeah, I've heard of that book. I actually haven't read it. That's the second time I've heard it being recommended. So I might grab a copy sometime this year, because I've got a lot of books to finish. And Sean, to wrap things up, is there anything I should have asked you but forgot to, or anything you want to finish off with?
Listen, for me, it's just thank you. It really is. And so many people have helped me along this journey for the last 8 months when we've released it. And sometimes I just sit back and I just think, you know, it was, I was away last week with my wife because it was our anniversary and we had a few days away. And I was just sitting back saying, I've been so lucky. I really have been so lucky in so many aspects of my life. And one of them is this industry. And to the people out there who've supported me and who've supported Sub30, just thank you very, very much. And please let it continue. Please go out there and become raving fans of Sub30 Core. And yeah, that's really all I want to say. I'm very humble when it comes to this type of stuff. And I just, sometimes I'm not an emotional fella, but sometimes I sit back and I look at how much people have helped me and support me. It puts a bit of a lump in my throat. So yeah, that's really it. Just no questions, just thanks for everybody who's helped me so far.
Amazing. Actually, for those that are listening or watching, if you're watching this, and you want to learn more about Sub30, I think we've got a free mini course. I'll put it on the show notes. Shameless plug. But for those who haven't tried it before, I think that free mini course gives you a bit of an insight. But Sean, for people watching this and they're like, wow, I want to follow Sean's journey, what's the best place for them to follow you? Is that through Facebook, Instagram? That way we can put it in show notes and people can stalk you.
Yes, they can. Facebook is probably the best. Sub30 Core. On Instagram as well, but I promise I'll get better at it. Yep, Sub30 Core is probably the best. Our website is Sub30 Fitness. And if anyone wants to go on there, you can download a free workout. We've got Sub30 Courage, which is a free workout for trainers to try. And it's actually one of our best workouts as well. So that'll give people an indication of how it works. If you want to use it with your clients, feel free to go ahead. If you want to use it online, so the Sub30, it can be face-to-face or online as well. Feel free to download that workout, try it. We've also got the course on special with you guys, Fitness Education Online. I think there's $100 off if they use FEO100 as well. So you can get the course for $100 off. So yeah, social media is Facebook. Sub30 Core is the best one. Or if you even want to friend me, jump on. It's Sean McCrory.
No one wants to friend you.
Yeah, it's pretty boring. I don't lead a very exciting life. Trust me, you're not seeing much. You're seeing.
I'm kidding. I'll put your Facebook. I'll put the links to your websites on the show notes and where people can get the free mini course. But yeah, any last things that you want to say?
Thank you very much for having me. Thanks very much for Fitness Education Online for everything. And I hope people enjoy this podcast. And I hope they've got some kind of, I don't know, inspiration sounds a bit corny, but maybe it'll just hopefully light a spark where if they've got an idea, if they've got this brainwave, or if they've got something they think they could do in the fitness industry, hopefully this might light a spark for them just to go out there and do it, because you just never know. You just never know how big it could be.
Yeah, and if you do that, Finn, if you do have an idea and you do it and this podcast did inspire you, reach out to Sean. I think he'll love to hear about that. And myself too.
And I'll only take 10% of commission.
Oh, whatever.
That's all.
You won't take anything. All right, Sean, we'll chat to you soon. I'll give you the links for everything.
Thank you very much. All right, kid. You take care. Have a great weekend.
You too. Bye.